In the sun-scorched lands of 18th century West Africa, a man of wealth and influence strode confidently through bustling markets, trading in goods that included the darkest commodity of all, human lives. But what if fate turned the tables on him? Imagine Ayuba Suleiman Diallo, a proud Fulani scholar and slave trader, suddenly ripped from his world, chained and shipped across the ocean to Europe as a slave himself. How did he survive the unimaginable, and what shocking twist awaited upon his return? Stay with me as we unravel this true tale of irony, resilience, and the brutal cycle of history.
Born around 1701 in the kingdom of Bundu, in what is now Senegal, Ayuba Suleiman Diallo grew up in a world of Islamic scholarship and Fulani tradition. As the son of a revered high priest, he memorized the Quran by heart and became a learned man, respected for his wisdom. But Ayuba was no mere scholar. He was a shrewd trader, amassing wealth through commerce in gold, ivory, and yes, slaves captured from rival tribes. His life was one of privilege, with a loving family, multiple wives, and a community that looked to him as a leader. Little did he know, the very trade that built his fortune would soon become his undoing, pulling him into a vortex of suffering that would test his faith and spirit.
In 1731, Ayuba embarked on a routine trading journey down the Gambia River, seeking to sell 2 slaves and acquire European goods like firearms and cloth. Accompanied by his young interpreter, he negotiated with Mandingo traders, his confidence unshaken by the dangers of the region. But betrayal lurked in the shadows. Ambushed by rivals seeking revenge or profit, Ayuba and his companion were overpowered, stripped of their freedom, and sold to European slavers waiting on the coast. In an instant, the trader became the traded, his world shattering like fragile glass.
Chained below deck on a British slave ship bound for the Americas, but fate would detour him toward Europe later, Ayuba endured the nightmare of the Middle Passage. Crammed into filthy holds with hundreds of others, he faced starvation, disease, and the constant lash of the whip. The air reeked of despair. Waves of sickness claimed lives around him. As a devout Muslim, Ayuba clung to his prayers, reciting verses from the Quran in whispered tones, his heart aching for his family back home. The irony burned deep. A man who had profited from this very brutality now tasted its bitter poison, his pride crumbling amid the endless ocean. Landing in Annapolis, Maryland, Ayuba was sold to a tobacco planter named Vashel Denton. Renamed Job by his captors, he toiled in the fields under the scorching sun, his scholarly hands blistered from picking leaves. The humiliation was profound, forced to eat pork against his faith, denied his rituals, and treated as property. Loneliness gripped him like a vice. Thoughts of his wife and children fueled a quiet rage. Yet, in this abyss, a spark of hope flickered. Ayuba's education would become his weapon, setting in motion a chain of events that defied the odds.
Unable to bear the degradation, Ayuba fled into the wilderness, seeking refuge among strangers. But freedom was fleeting. Captured and jailed in Kent County, he languished in a cold cell, his spirit teetering on the edge. Here, in his darkest hour, he encountered a glimmer of kindness. A local lawyer noticed his dignity and allowed him paper and ink. With trembling hands, Ayuba penned a letter in Arabic to his father, pleading for help. Little did he know, this simple act would echo across oceans, drawing the attention of powerful men in Europe.
Ayuba's letter, intended for Africa, was intercepted and forwarded to James Oglethorpe, founder of Georgia, who recognized its scholarly Arabic script. Moved by the tale, Oglethorpe sent it to England, where it captivated the Royal African Company. They saw not just a slave, but a man of intellect, a potential ally in trade. Ransomed for 45 pounds, Ayuba was freed and sailed to England in 1733. The voyage was a whirlwind of emotions, relief mixed with the scars of trauma, as he left behind the land that had broken him, heading toward an uncertain European world. In London, Ayuba became a sensation among the aristocracy. Dressed in fine robes, he dined with nobles, demonstrated his knowledge of the Quran, and even had his portrait painted by William Hoare, the first known portrait of an African Muslim in Europe. Yet beneath the curiosity and admiration lay profound isolation. He longed for home, his heart heavy with memories of lost years. The English marveled at his resilience, but Ayuba's eyes held the quiet pain of a man forever changed by chains. Back in Africa, Ayuba's father, the high priest, had not forgotten his son. For years, he sent letters to European contacts, leveraging his influence to demand Ayuba's release. These missives, filled with paternal anguish and authority, reinforced the efforts in England. The bond between father and son, stretched across continents, became the unbreakable thread pulling Ayuba back. Emotions ran deep, relief for the father, gratitude for the son, yet the shadow of what Ayuba had endured lingered. In 1734, with the help of the Royal African Company, Ayuba sailed back to Gambia. Stepping onto African soil, waves of joy and sorrow crashed over him. Reunited with his family after 3 harrowing years, he embraced his father, tears unspoken but profound. The experience had forged him anew, but the world he returned to was unchanged. The slave trade still thrived, and Ayuba, ever the pragmatist, would soon re-enter it. Back in Bundu, Ayuba rebuilt his life, using his European connections to expand his trading empire. Tragically, he returned to slave trading, supplying captives to the very system that had enslaved him. The irony was stark. A man who knew the horrors firsthand now perpetuated them for profit. Was it survival in a ruthless world, or a hardened heart? His story evokes a storm of emotions, pity for his suffering, confusion at his choices, reminding us of history's complex shades. Ayuba lived until around 1773, his memoir, Some Memoirs of the Life of Job, preserving his tale. He bridged worlds, influencing abolitionist thoughts in Europe while entangled in Africa's trade. His life stirs deep emotions, the thrill of redemption, the ache of betrayal, the puzzle of human contradiction. What does it teach us about empathy and cycles of oppression? As the sun sets on Ayuba's story, one question lingers. Could you forgive the system that broke you, only to wield it again? This tale of a slave trader turned slave and back again isn't just history, it's a mirror to our own flaws. If this gripped you, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What would you have done in Ayuba's place?
This question lingers, demanding your truth.